Opinions. Everybody's got one and they're a dime a dozen. But when should you really be asking for them, and how in the world can you make them helpful to you? Let's talk about it. Oh, yes. Do you have an opinion? I am so sure that you do. That is what we are talking about today. But before we go any further, hello there. My name is Ella Glasgow, and I am your show stopping virtual event producer hired by corporate meeting and event planners to help them create impactful virtual and hybrid events without pulling their hair out trying to figure out all the tech and logistics of it. And we do this using our signature Encore method for transformational virtual experiences that go far beyond the screen. And today we are talking about opinions because we all have them. And this thought came to me uh, earlier this week when I was searching and looking around the interwebs and on the social medias and seeing all of the opinions that were being given, either solicited or unsolicited. And hey, if you are joining me here live, then please let me know that you're here live. Give me a hashtag live. If you're here with me in the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And if there is anything that I'm talking about today that is making you think, you know what, my colleague needs to know about this, then I want you to spread this like your favorite gossip around the virtual water cooler. Let them know what we're talking about today and, ask for their opinion. But seriously, all joking aside, there are a lot of opinions about a lot of things being thrown around everywhere these days, and it seems like it's just getting to be happening more and more and more, that people are offering their unsolicited advice about things. And I believe that opinions, hey Eden, I believe that opinions can be incredibly valuable when they are given in the right context and in the right space. And that's really what I want to talk about today. I'm sure that you have come across some times, you've had some moments in your life when you have wanted an opinion, you've needed an opinion, you've asked for an opinion. Maybe you haven't asked for opinion and you've gotten them whether you wanted them or not. And I think that there are ways to get this information that can be incredibly valuable to you and not be detrimental to your health, as I have seen it become for some people. And in fact, I am going to tell you that uh, I have suffered from receiving an opinion that was completely unsolicited, and uh, it really caused me harm. And that's the thing about opinions, with giving them, asking for them. They can be fabulous, or they could be the kiss of death. And it's it is something that affects our mental health. And as a person who has gone through some things that I don't wish on anyone in the last few months, some of those things were escalated. Some of the ways that I was feeling and operating in the world were compounded, I should say, by opinions that were given to me unsolicited. And the thing is that it can be really, really easy to offer up advice to someone, even in love. And the thing is that the person that gave me the opinion was offering it in love, or so they thought. Or so they thought. But this today, what I'm going to be talking about today, is really something that, while I say it's something that I've been thinking about for the past week, I've honestly been thinking about it for the past year, because it was something that happened to me last year that started this mental space that was the seed that was almost the kiss of death. So, and I'm not saying that lightly. Um, I'm saying that with all the intention that I'm meaning behind it. Um, and it's going to feel today a little less polished, because even though I've been thinking about this for a long time, uh, the the thoughts are still not as fully formulated as I may want them to be, but I feel that I don't want to wait any longer to give you this information. And this, what I'm talking about today, is, yes, it's important for your mental health. It's important for you and your business as well, because if you are not utilizing the the thoughts and the criticisms of others in a constructive way, then it can be your absolute downfall. It really can. And my hope today is that with what I'm telling you, with what I've learned, that it will help you to catapult yourself forward, and that when these issues arise, when opinions arise, whether wanted or unwanted, that that you are able to take them in stride, and that you are able to continue to move forward and not have the same things that have happened to me to hold you back. So, first of all, why in the world is it even important to have feedback? Why is it important to get the right feedback? And what even is the right feedback? It's incredibly important for your mental health, for you as a human, for you connecting with the world around you. We can oftentimes be inside of our own headspace. And when we're dealing with mental issues, being inside our own headspace is not always the best place to be. I'm saying this on high authority. While I love what I have going on in my mental playground, sometimes we got to get that stuff out. Yes, Eden, yes, the constructive feedback helps us grow. It can help us grow when it's given to us in the right way and in the right context and in the right time. Because timing is everything. Timing is everything. And that means that for us personally, we have to do the work on ourselves to be able to stay in the right time and trust that those around us are doing the work on themselves, so that when they offer the opinions, that they are in the right time, because timing is everything for feedback. I can give you feedback about your virtual presentation on a day that your mind is in complete and utter turmoil, and it will not be the right time. It may have been the right feedback at the wrong time, which can still be detrimental and not useful. So it's really important to lean into timing when requesting feedback and when giving feedback, to ensure that the feedback that is being given is well received and going into good soil and can be used. And I find oftentimes that when it comes to getting feedback or asking for feedback, that oftentimes we may be asking for it in the wrong way by simply saying those words, "What's your opinion?" That, oh, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. Or saying things like, what do you think? Or how do you feel about it? Ooh, While I know that may seem like it's the right question to ask, it really is not a clear enough question for the person you're asking the opinion of. And I know this because for years I was a coach to vocalists and speakers. And oftentimes, and still it happens to this day because, once a coach, always a coach, right? So I do get often asked, what do you think about this? And people will send me things and ask me, what do you think about this particular thing? And unfortunately, I can't really answer that question for them. And I can't really answer that question for you because I need to know more information. You have to give more clarity around the question when you're looking for an opinion and you really want something that is going to help you grow. Asking someone, what do you think? What's your opinion? How does this make you feel? Is not necessarily going to give you the answer that you're looking for, and it's not necessarily going to give you the feedback that moves you forward. We have to start asking better questions. And that means that you're going to have to know what outcome you are actually looking for. The only way that you're going to be able to get good, constructive feedback that goes beyond, ew, I don't like it. Ugh, that's ugly. Ugh, that makes me feel icky inside. Or, ugh, that's purr. I don't like the way that looks. I don't like the way that sounds. That if you want more than that, because here's the thing, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the way it sounds. Something I saw the other day, your eyes are too far apart. I mean, what kind of feedback is that? There's nothing that you can do with any of that. You cannot make any motion forward with it's ugly, it sounds bad, your eyes are too far apart. Can't change the width of my eyes. And it's ugly, okay. That's your opinion, because to someone else it might be pretty. That is feedback that is relative to you and only you, and will not help me in any way, shape, or form move forward. I can't change it's ugly. What? I need a what. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm screaming, and this is what I would say to my clients all the time. When it comes to asking for feedback, whether it be of yourself or from someone else, you have to get specific with what it is you're looking for. What do you really want feedback on? You cannot hand somebody an entire presentation, or in their case, it was a song or a talk. You cannot hand somebody an audio and say, what do you think? Okay, about what? About who? About why? About how? No, specifically, okay, I've been working on this particular thing and I've gotten to this point with this particular thing, and I want to know, do you think that this is clear? This particular section in this part of this presentation, does this sound clear to you? Yes. No, it doesn't sound clear to me because da 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 da. That's feedback. That's constructive. I can go back and work on that. But I can't work on, that's ugly. And this is important for you to know for yourself when it comes to looking at your virtual presentations. When it comes to getting feedback on those things, when it comes to you watching the playback, which I mentioned last week is incredibly important for you to be willing to watch your virtual presentations back without scrunching your nose up at it, without your inner critic sitting on the sidelines going, that could have been better. That was stupid. Why would you even say that? You don't need your inner critic at that moment in time. They are not constructive at all. They don't know how to be constructive. They are not welcome when it comes to the time for you to watch yourself back. Because you can't fix, why did I even say that? That was dumb. That's not helpful to you at all. So when you're watching things back, as much as you may think right now that it pains you to do, I'm going to ask you to let go of that framing for yourself, because there's absolutely no way that you can get better if you don't look at yourself. There's absolutely no way that you can make what's happening on the screen better if you don't watch yourself and give yourself feedback that is constructive, that you can work on. Things like, you know what? When I said those particular words right there, it was a little grating in the sound because the pitch of my voice got a little bit higher than I expected or wanted. So the next time I talk about this particular issue, I'm going to see if maybe I can calm myself down a bit, take a little breath, which will help to lower my pitch and bring that point across in a better way. That is constructive. That is something that you can work on, because that's the thing about feedback, after all. It has to be something that you can actually work on. And the only way that that can happen is if you start asking yourself questions that are related to a goal. If you do not have a goal for the question, for the opinion, then the person that you're asking, you're putting them in a spot that is going to really make them step up with an inner critic. You're not allowing them any other function except to be your inner critic on the outside. So don't yes, Eden. don't don't do it. Don't do it. Don't allow people to become the inner critic on the outside for you. And the way that you can gently help them into being a constructive critic and really offering you up information that will help you catapult yourself and your business and your speech, whatever that happens to be, forward, is to construct a question that is open enough and pointed enough for them to give you the feedback that you're looking for. I truly hope that what it is that I am talking with you about today is helpful for you, especially in this day and age when, like I said, people are offering up their opinions left and right, whether they want whether you asked for them or not. And it can be really challenging at times to accept or to hear the feedback from others when you haven't set the space for the opinions asked. Now, here's the thing. I know that even if you do as what I saw a person do earlier this week, or talk about something they've done, they posted a picture. And I don't recall whether or not they had asked for how they asked for this particular opinion, but I think they said something along the lines of, is this picture good for LinkedIn? And that question is going to be relative to the person that answers it. That is, yeah, it's a yes or no, but what does that really mean? And of course, that was what opened up the doors for people to say, your eyes are too wide apart. You're blah, 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 blah. The stupid things that people say that were unwanted and unneeded and unnecessary and unconstructive. But what may have helped is by leading the question. My ultimate goal is that I want to have a picture that represents me well and what it is that I do on LinkedIn. And I would love to know, while I think this picture is pretty, because I think the picture of myself looks really nice, what do you think about, is it too shadowed? Does it look like it's too much of a selfie? Are selfies okay on LinkedIn? Let me know. And that would have been more pointed, a question for that particular person, and eliminates the, I don't need you to tell me about my eyes being too far apart. I don't need you to tell me about if my nose is too big. Didn't ask you if my hair color looks right. I'm asking you specifically, does this look too much like a selfie, and do you think that it is inappropriate for LinkedIn? That is a clear question that should elicit a clear answer without the criticisms. But we all know there's some people that just can't help themselves but offer up unsolicited opinions about things. But again, being clear in your ask is incredibly important, and it will help protect your mental space when you ask clear questions, because when those critics come along that have the stupid answers, you will be able to more easily knock those aside because they are not relevant to the question that you asked in the first place. And you can choose to do with it what you will. If you want to be snarky and snark back, then snark it back. But it'll be a whole lot easier for you to just move on, because those snarks will be fewer and farther between all of the relevant answers, because you asked a pointed question that was specific to what it is that you were trying to get the answer to. Hey, is it Asaraz? How do I say your name? Thank you for coming back again this week. And for those of you that are with me on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, I'm on Instagram as well. And I want to make sure that they are feeling welcome in the space as well with us. We're talking about getting the right feedback and criticism. But we have been here for more than a minute. Wow. Thank you for being with me live today, for those of you that had showed up with me live. And, let me know. I want to know what your thoughts are on criticism and receiving that feedback. Do you have a particular way that you ask for feedback in a way that will help you move forward? Let us know in the chat below. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. And I want to remind you that I am here with you and for you every single week, and on Wednesdays, usually at 11. And remember that everything that you do can go far, far beyond. I'll see you next time. Bye.